from the third dimension.
This is 3D or 2D.com's Duh 3D Show.
Put on your 3D glasses now.
If you're wondering what the 3D stand for, they are discussion, debate, and the news. We hope that you enjoy the show. Get it? The show?
Duh.
Hello, welcome to episode 98. I'm Adolf, and I have with me the Jakes. Say hello, Classic Jake.
Say hello.
And say Wazawoozle, New Jake.
Wazawoozle.
So this episode is going to be another big one because we got a lot of movie news that has popped up since we uploading the 3D show. So we got a lot of stuff that has happened between then, and it's kind of just surprising how much news is popping up, but it's also kind of good as things are kind of sort of getting to a different, universe. We're not exactly the same, post-world, but we're not also exactly 2020 either. It's a weird kind of situation with the world and news and all events. So, let's start off with news about some DC movies that are no longer in production. Two movies specifically. One I don't care about. The other one I understand why. So the first one is the Trench movie, which is about the trench monsters from Aquaman. Yeah, that movie is done. Not going to happen. What are your thoughts?
That was a stupid idea to begin with.
I agree 100%.
Yes, I just figured this is Warner Brothers announcing stuff to... It seems like they like to announce a big slate of movies to try to juice their stock and then have no intention of ever follow through. And that just seems like The Trench was one of those movies. And obviously, nobody came up with a script or an idea. So
It didn't need to happen because I didn't care about those monsters. I cared more about that octopus playing the drums than I did the trench monsters.
Topo, one of Aquaman's loyal pets.
Yes.
The next one will get Peter the pufferfish.
Oh, God.
So, yeah, there was supposed to be a movie about those trench... I forget what the hell they're even called, but they're like monsters that basically... We have one pretty cool scene, actually, in Aquaman with these monsters attacking Aquaman and Mira, and they get through it. And apparently they're going to make a movie about these things, and it's like, honestly, I agree with all y'all that it's just no need for that. There's no need to spin off that movie. That was not needed at all.
Mm-mm.
I don't know. I was thinking there were some characters in the Aquaman universe that would have been perfect cannon fodder, because I doubt they're going to use Garth, and Tula, and Dolphin. And they could have used those characters, and nobody would have cared if they killed any of them off.
Meh.
But then again, nobody would care.
Yeah. It seemed like they were just wanting something, and because Aquaman was the only billion-dollar grossing DCEU movie so far, we got to milk it for what it's worth, and nothing.
Yeah.
Well, I understand exactly why they would need to, try to get Aquaman 2 fast-tracked, because it made a lot of money, more money than any one of us really thought, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That was a pleasant surprise that it made all that money.
And all of us like it, right?
Yeah.
So it makes sense to, fast-track a sequel, get that going. People like the movie, it's good reviews, goodish reviews, and it made tons of money. Yeah, obviously. But then, let's have a spin-off of these monsters. Who cares? It's stupid.
Yeah.
Now, the other movie that is no longer in production, I'm actually using my words correctly here because people want to use the word canceled, and that has a whole different connotation nowadays. So this movie is no longer in production, is the New Gods movie, which is pretty disappointing, actually.
Yeah, I'm heartbroken. Kirby at this time, because in this time period was because he was doing the this was announced even before the Eternals, which is what Kirby was doing at Marvel when he left, and then he came over and he was interested in this cosmic stuff, so he kind of revamped it at DC as the New Gods, and it was much more developed than he ever developed the Eternals because he worked on it much longer. So I was really wanting to see what Ava DuVernay was going to do, and we're not going to, and that's sad.
Well, she did A Wrinkle in Time, and if that has any indication of what she did with a big budget, I'm kind of glad we're not seeing her do New Gods.
Well, that was an unfilmable book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the first adaptation of it. Ava DuVernay's is 100 times better.
Yeah, but it's just not a good
movie. And I was really disappointed with the film, what came out of that, and also the fact that, they probably weren't going to let her go hog wild and change the... It's one of those things, it's one of those childhood classics that is sacrosanct. I mean, it's like somebody trying to do Gadsby today. If you change it, people have a heart attack, and they did with the 3D version.
But people liked it.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by it.
So the New Gods, I think, would have made more sense after the Snyderverse. After the Snyder cut, because we do get Darkseid there, and we do get an introduction to more of the characters, because that's where Darkseid, Steppenwolf, all those characters are from the New Gods, and so that would have been a nice way to do that, and have if they want to give that to Snyder, hell yeah. But
it seems like the Snyder cut really fired up people in a positive way, and you think they would have pushed into it and fast tracked New Gods.
Maybe they're going to wait for a little bit down the road. That's what I'm thinking. It's going to be probably put back in production.
He did say if these go back in production, they're going back to the Ava is going to get New Gods, and I'm trying to remember all the people associated with the Trench, but they're not going to get new teams. It's going to be the production teams are going to go back to them if they go back in production.
I think the Trench is just going to be dead.
That's dead.
R.I.P.
Or they're going to fold what their ideas for that. They're going to get folded into Aquaman 2 or 3.
Yeah, save a little money down the road. It's we got some of these ideas. Here you go. No more extra money.
It would also probably be more appropriate to develop it for HBO Max.
Yeah, kind of like a TV series, but I still don't want a Trench movie that's completely useless.
Yeah. The New Gods have a lot of potential, and there's something that's been very much minor in DC Universe. You get some here and there. You get Orion guest starring in Justice League, but you don't really get a huge... I don't remember there being an actual full cartoon series of the New Gods. Has there been? I don't think so.
Nope.
Yeah. But Darkseid and Desaad and Granny have been here and there, so...
Yeah, I'm trying to remember which one live action CW shows Granny Goodness was on.
So yeah, I think there's potential there, but I understand Warner Brothers' hesitance on here because it's a big thing, and we still don't know. I mean, right now I trust the Marvel Cinematic Universe completely, but we still don't know the status of the Eternals. We don't even have a trailer for that movie, and it can be really odd and hard to do. I hope if they ever do make this, Waititi's behind it, because I think he can make it work so well. But who knows? Maybe one day, maybe in 10 years they'll make it. But it's gonna, I'm glad they just called it a spade and said, done. We're not gonna be messing with this right now. And, it's better to have it be done and, than to be in development hell for 10 years and never
like Spielberg's Black Hawk movie.
Yeah,
which I'm betting is never going to happen.
I mean, if they make a TV show of this, I think that would be pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Well, they kind of already made a TV show that's kind of like that. It's called Baba Black Sheep, also known as the Black Sheep Squadron. I mean, it wasn't technically Black Hawk. It was Papa Boyington, but it might as well have been Black Hawk because it seemed to borrow more from the comics than it ever did from the real life of Pappy Boyington.
Well, while I'm talking about the New Gods TV show on HBO Max, I'll be definitely game for that.
Yeah? Oh, that would be awesome.
I mean, if that has so much potential to be like, Game of Thrones and have high production value, drama. Yeah, there's a lot there. And Darkseid being one of the most powerful DC villains, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. And just to see New Genesis and Apocalypse, that would be so awesome.
And Orion's a very much underused character. He's pretty cool. I like him. So, yeah. I'm sad about New Gods, but I'm completely happy that Trench is gone.
Yeah, I didn't care about it when I read the announcement. Hey, we're making a movie based on monsters and that one scene in Aquaman. It's like,
Well, they've got to do a horror movie, and James Wan in a horror movie will always be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he directed or not, but yeah.
Well, it would depend on. I mean, if some of his people, some of his writers and stuff have moved on to directing, and they do some really good stuff. Like Lee Whatnell.
Yeah,
he's knocked two out of the park completely between Upgrade and Man.
Invisible Man, yeah.
So let's keep going here with more DC news, and we have a lot of DC news actually. So we got more information that the next movies will be in the same universe, except for Batman, which is going to be in Earth 2. But they're going to try to continue the Snyderverse or try to keep the same universe, which I'm fine with. I think that's fine. You don't really need to. I don't think there's been that many contradictions that they need to fix, and I'm fine with having the same movie universe. What about y'all?
Well, they've already blown apart shared universe anyway, because nothing matches up to Zack Snyder, and I don't think the Snyderverse is, I think, pretty much its own little universe. I mean, you got Joker, it's its own little thing, and Birds of Prey, who has any idea where it fits into anything?
So, Birds of Prey is interesting because I don't feel like that movie really undercuts anything. You do have the same Harley Quinn, and they don't actually show Joker, they just kind of reference him. So, I could see that just be, okay, the next movie in that time frame of after Suicide Squad, before the new Suicide Squad or whatever, which you got a second trailer for that, which just kind of threw me out of whack too.
Yeah, so soon.
Which looks cool. I'm game for that. New Jake, what are your thoughts on the trailer for the Suicide Squad?
Both of them were excellent. I like the new one a little bit better because it felt a little bit more emotional, I guess, like a slight emotional slant. But I mean, it looks like a fun ride, and it's James Gunn. I am down for anything he does.
The only thing I'm worried about is the last time we got dueling trailers for a Suicide Squad movie, the suits heavily butchered it.
Yeah, I think they're going to let James Gunn do his thing because, well, he's done Guardians of the Galaxy.
But there's been a lot of people screaming that they love they like the calmer trailer more, and I just hope that DC doesn't take this as a mandate to enforce a PG-13 rating on the Suicide Squad.
Oh no, I think James Gunn has it in his contract that's going to be R or nothing because, James Gunn has the pull, the leverage to make that happen, and
yeah,
I think we'll get it.
I sure hope so.
I think it might be like Deadpool 2, where you got the R-rated first, and then later on you'll get a watered-down, crappy version of it, of the movie that's PG-13. I never saw Once Upon a Deadpool, but I've heard that it's not that great of a recut. The scenes with Evan Savage are cool, but it's not really worth the cut of everything else.
Fred Savage.
Fred Savage, yeah.
That would be cool with Adam Savage.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, I would like it with Adam Savage.
Adam Savage from
Mythbusters. He could use Deadpool as his dummy buster. to test out myths.
The DC movie universe. I guess Suicide Squad happens before Justice League. And Wonder Woman happens before Man of Steel, obviously. Wonder Woman 84 also happens before that. But 84, I don't know how all those wishes and everything else fixes, if that messes up stuff in the timeline. I don't know. Aquaman does seem like a sequel to Justice League, but barely. And Shazam, I guess, happens after Justice League. And Joker is his own thing, but it's okay. I think it's very doable that they could just continue off and just it's fine. It's good enough. I don't think it's that anything broke too many things from continuity, but
just gonna say, we're gonna fix it in Flashpoint, which hopefully gets made.
Yeah, I think they're in production now, so
yeah,
I think it's workable. I mean, I love the MCU, but there definitely is some stuff there that doesn't connect perfectly. So,
yeah, Incredible Hulk being the most obvious one.
Yeah, and then basically the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV series, which started off inside there, but then ended not at all in there, and some of the that got jettisoned, and the other TV shows before that never really kind of sort of connected, but then it looks like they're dropping them. So
it seems like the thing that's canon is Agent Carter.
Yeah. So
Darkhold in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Well, that's different now because it's just different Darkhold that was in WandaVision, so whatever.
Yeah. Well, they say it's the same Darkhold, but who's saying it isn't? Unless it comes from Feige himself, I would disregard it completely.
So, yeah, I'm just saying there's some issues in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that don't connect perfectly either. So I think the DC is salvageable, that they could continue on and not have that many things. And yeah, they'll have their one-off Joker, one-off Batman movie, but I think, Flashpoint could definitely be in the, and Aquaman 2 could be, it's still in the same universe, so I think it works. Now let's keep going here. We got Black Adam news.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a release date.
Yeah.
When is the date, Classic Jake?
July 9th, 2022.
Surprise, no trailer. Surprise, no trailer yet.
Well, this week they broke ground. They started filming.
And this has been development hell for forever.
Mm-hmm.
It was announced 14 years ago.
And this hopefully connects with Shazam. And, I think Shazam is before Justice League, but who knows exactly, This should, hopefully, they're, talking to one another and getting everything synced up with Shazam, because Shazam and Black Adam are rivals in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But obviously this is supposed to be like the origin of Black Adam, which we don't see in Shazam at all. So I assume this is going to be mostly a prequel, which is totally fine because Black Adam deserves his own story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's The Rock.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Black Adam used to just be like the reverse Shazam, to kind of like Reverse Flash is Reverse Flash, and Bizarro is Reverse Superman. But like they've made him over the years into an anti-hero and changed him up.
Yeah, they basically gave him Marvel's name. They gave him Namor the Submariner's personality.
And The Rock always makes good money, and I don't really hate any of his last movies, so and he's like a big producer in this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I definitely trust this. I think this is going to be a big hit, and it could be like the biggest hit for DC next year, potentially.
Yeah, it's got great potential. He's got some The Rock's always got good casting. I mean, it's one of the reasons Rampage works as well as it does. He cast up. I mean, I was surprised at the people he got for that.
The only one I'm worried about is Noah Centineo. I don't think he's that good of an actor, but he may change for me in this movie.
Yeah.
Hey, Pierce Brosnan is I completely love that casting in there. So
That was a brilliant casting for Kent Nelson.
Dr. Fate. I don't know if you knew Jake or not.
I did not.
So yeah, he's Pierce Brosnan is is Dr. Fate in this, and so yeah, he's part of the whole Justice Society of America, or GA Justice Society, which I don't think of America or or West Coast. I think those labels are long dead for any movies or TV series. I don't think they're gonna have Avengers of West Coast or whatever. I don't think.
Or the new Avengers, or who knows? Who knows what they're gonna do? I mean, we don't even know what the X-Men are going to be called, other than probably not the X-Men.
But you know what I mean? How like they had Justice Society of America, or they have the Great Lakes Avengers, and it's like I don't think anyone really cares that much about that limited.
And Justice League, don't forget Justice League Antarctica.
Oh God.
Hey, I would be there day one if they made a movie about Justice League Antarctica. It was hysterical. Keith Giffen it is absolute craziest.
So you guys are excited for Black Adam?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I love the character and I like The Rock. I mean, so it ought to be a blast.
Yeah, they had a picture of the film slate, and it has the director, which he's done some good stuff, but I see the cinematographer. I'm like, okay, he shot Joker, so it's going to look beautiful. At least I hope it does.
Yeah.
I like the idea of these gods, because I think Wonder Woman could really have a lot of help with that, because the gods also exist in Wonder Woman, but they're different. And DC has always kind of been weird with what gods are real, what gods aren't real, what are the new gods, It's just been kind of out there because it doesn't like Wonder Woman's gods, aren't they like mix of Roman and Greek or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
And then Shazam's gods are like a mix of both as well.
Yeah, and then they kind of Jeff Johns kind of revamped the whole Shazamly and kind of made it now more like the Wizard of Oz with the different realms and stuff.
Yeah.
Because
which was a good idea. It's just the execution in the books has been less than stellar. But hey, I thought the Shazam movie was great, especially with having to change the villain.
Yeah, I thought it was great too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So like, Shazam being, Solomon, Hercules, Atlas, Zeus, Achilles, and Mercury. I mean, I think we kind of saw that in like the whole thing, both in the Snyder cut and in the Joss Whedon cut of the past, where they're attacking the, in the Joss Whedon cut, they're attacking Steppenwolf, but in the Snyder cut, it was Darkseid, that Earth. But we saw one of them there, right? We saw Atlas or Zeus shooting, lasers at them, right? Or something like that.
Or it could have been Ares. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know Black Adam was referenced in that little scene. That's confirmed.
I mean, that was a pretty cool scene. So,
yeah.
That could be something that they could use that a lot of times, and hopefully they use it in here, because I think that could be a really interesting story there. Because that's supposed to take place thousands of years ago too. So I don't know if that's going to be something they mention, or whatever happens to Atlas and Zeus and Achilles and, Mercury. Did they die and their powers get transformed into Shazam, or,
Oh, that might turn up in in the Shazam sequel, Fury of the Gods.
Yeah, there's definitely... I mean, if something needs to connect, it needs to be these movies, mostly. Shazam 2, and Black Adam. Because will they have, like, the Shazam, what is it, the Wizard Shazam in this movie, too? They should.
Yeah.
Yeah, since he's the one who endowed Black Adam with his powers.
Because I really liked him. What's the actor's name in that? What is the actor's name? I can't remember. Yeah, Damon Hanshu.
Jaimin Hansu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was great. So
Yeah. Remember him from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for these movies.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's see more Warner Brothers stuff. Since we are on the Warner Brothers DC, we got a Space Jam New Legacy trailer. Now we have no idea if this is a 3D movie yet. I assume it will be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like almost like it's Ready Player One in the 90s, but with every DC character everything we own, all our IP, we're gonna throw it in this trailer.
Mm-hmm. Droogs, Iron Giant.
So,
Batman's, various Jokers,
mm-hmm.
various Looney Tunes. I mean, it seems like about the only thing I didn't see was the cast from 77 Sunset Strip.
All right, what are your guys' thoughts on the original Space Jam? New Jake.
It's okay. I mean, back when I was a kid in 1996, it was fun. It was fine, but it hasn't aged very well.
Classic Jake.
And I just thought I wasn't interested because the animation wasn't very good, and I was too old for it. I mean, I was an old fart then.
I never saw
but
this.
But if I was, I loved it.
I was the right demographic, the right age, but somehow I never saw this. But for me, I was like, this looks like a crappy knockoff of Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's the only reason it existed.
And I remember back then that people, like all my friends, didn't care for it. Like, whatever. But there's been a lot of nostalgia for this movie lately. I feel like a lot of people were like, oh yeah, that was great. One of my best movies ever. And it's like, really? I don't remember that.
Most people just care about sexy Lola, and they hate how they quote-unquote de-sexified her.
I think she looks better now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with her being changed. And, I mean, the whole story of a basketball player going in to play basketball with cartoons, just kind of whatever.
Yeah, I don't care about, like, what they do with any of it, honestly.
This is just going to be eye candy and hunt Easter eggs. In other words, Ready Player 2.
Which, it's funny you say that, Classic Jake, because I did see like a small little trailer after the original trailer came out, where they have like bugs saying, "Oh yeah, here are all the Easter eggs." It was for like Easter themed, and like, "Oh yeah, did you notice this? Did you notice this?" And it's like, "Yeah, obviously I did," but yeah, they kind of did what a bunch of YouTubers do when they have that. Oh, 10 things you missed here, and they have the the thumbnail with the arrow and the circle. You know what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm not hating on them, but it's still a little bit weird. So they kind of had that kind of humor where they're self-aware, and I think it looks dumb. It looks super dumb to me.
Yeah, and LeBron James is a way worse actor than Michael Jordan.
Yeah, that's why I think they brought Don Cheadle in.
Yeah, but it's still not going to make LeBron James look better. It's going to make him look worse.
Well, if anything, I could give an excuse to limit LeBron James's scenes.
Yeah, but the voiceover acting and the animated scenes for him and the live action acting it's not good, at least based on the trailer. But the trailer just looks like crap, honestly.
Yeah, it's going to be eye candy and a Easter egg hunt. There's going to be nothing to it.
Yeah, but I also don't have confidence because the director it's Malcolm D. Lee, who Spike Lee's cousin, but he's done some okay movies, but it's mainly just been mediocre comedies like Girls Trip and kind of stuff like that. Just like seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I definitely agree that Jordan has a lot more personality. Even if he was just kind of not acting in that movie either, he has personality, and I feel like LeBron has kind of been a jerk and doesn't seem very likable. Yeah, he's talented. Now, on the court side, I don't know enough about basketball to really judge, but I'm just gonna say Jordan is better. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan seems like he's actually a decent human, whereas LeBron James seems like he's just always like, yeah, I know I'm the best there is currently. It's just like even Shaquille O'Neal didn't do that. Like whenever he was in Kazam, it's like, yeah, he's honest, like not a good actor, but he seemed more honest and lovable and goofy, whereas LeBron just seems self-serving and serious.
Yeah.
So there's that personality there that I just like, yeah, LeBron was just a jerk, and Jordan, he knew how to play the game and be cool, and I mean he was for years in underwear commercials, and he rocked those commercials. So yeah, that's gonna be part of there. That it's just like, are they gonna really? They got a great script for him to really do, or what? Yeah, I'm not looking forward to this at all. But
yeah, I mean, if it will look good in 3D at least, but it's not going to be a good movie. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I would be surprised. I mean, I honestly do not think this movie is going to surprise us like Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
All right. Classic Jake, what do you want to talk about next?
Oh, I guess we should talk about Ghostbusters Afterlife. Uh-huh. And what's this with Paul Rudd and Baskin Robbins?
That's like the third thing he's done for Baskin Robbins.
Uh-huh. It's starting to be a
funny
thing like Jon Stewart and Arby's.
Yes.
And this had a real Army of Darkness vibe with the little mini Stay Puft Marshmallow Men.
Yes, it did. I kind of wish they saved the mini Marshmallow Men for until the movie came out to be a surprise, but the movie's not coming out until November?
Yeah. And I think since everything's delayed and snafu'd, they just said, why not? We might as well.
So yeah, we got the new trailer. It's coming out supposedly November 11th, 2021, which obviously these dates may change by the time you're actually watching or listening to this podcast. Now, this little teaser trailer had basically him walking around a store, and then you saw him looking at the marshmallow areas, and then the Stay Puft Marshmallow minis came to life, and they were, I guess, killing each other and cooking each other, and
gleefully cannibalistic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then one of them bit Paul Rudd, and that was hilarious.
It kind of felt like the Goosebumps movies a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like they're in a store and it's like, oh, all this stuff is coming to life, and it kind of makes sense because Sony made those movies and they got Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm.
It's really weird because this scene has nothing to do with the last scene that we saw in this movie.
Yeah.
I like the vibe in this a lot more than the trailer.
I mean, Paul Rudd alone, it's going to be at least decent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, seriously, it looks like a different movie. This is...
Oh, yeah. It actually looks competent.
Yeah, this looks like a comedy.
Yes.
Well, the other trailer looks like what? This looks like something I expect Meryl Streep to star in.
So, yeah, the other movie we saw before was with the kids and going to a barn, and then they find the old car, and they start doing wheelies in it or something. And
talk about their late grandfather and the farm. Like I said, I expect Meryl Streep to show up and go, we've got to save the farm from being and then a ghost pops out. So
yeah, Sophie's Choice 2. Back from the grave.
Right. Exactly.
So, yeah, I was kind of surprised we didn't actually get a legit trailer. This is like a fun little scene, but, this is kind of the fun little scenes that they have sometimes in front of movies. Like, instead of having a fake commercial for, go to the movie to get your popcorn and soda, this could have been something like that. And they usually have these kind of little things where they tease out commercials like that for the movie. That's not like a real trailer, but it just felt really weird. But I like it. But I also kind of
I think it's.
Go ahead.
I think it's just going to be a Baskin Robbins commercial in theaters. Like, be sure to stop by your Baskin Robbins this November to get your exclusive Ghostbusters flavor.
Seriously?
Yeah, it might have been, but everything's kind of snafu'd with the pandemic
Yeah.
delays. Because who knows? They probably filmed this a year and a half ago.
Yeah, something like that.
Now you can buy. No, can you or can you not buy the marshmallows? I thought they could buy them. Like I thought, Think Geek had the Stay Puft marshmallows, and at some stores they have Ghostbuster themed marshmallows. I don't know.
I've seen Stay Puft at FYE, but that's been about like a year ago or so. I don't know if that was a limited exclusive or they just ran out.
I mean, if they want to sell, I think that would be really clever marketing just to go ahead and have a Stay Puft, come out at the same time. I think that could be a big hit, basically easy marketing, and bada bing, bada boom, you go to the store and get yourself some Stay Puft marshmallows, and easy marketing. So
I just want the Ecto Cooler to come back again, because that was the only good thing about the 2016 movie was the Ecto Cooler and the white fudge marshmallow Twinkie. That needs to come back. Both of those do.
Yeah, exactly.
it's weird that the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man has really, that and Slimer have transcended beyond the Ghostbusters, and everything has to be attached to those two things. And it's just okay,
yes.
There's more to Ghostbusters than those two things, but everything is stapled onto there. Oh, Stay Puft, oh, Slimer, and
Well, they haven't told us whether Slimer's going to be in this or not. I assume he is, and I assume they're saving him. They might be saving him as a big surprise.
I think there's supposed to be a blue Slimer at which I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't know. Hey, I would like to see a Slimer actually look like John Belushi.
Yeah. I'm just tired of Slimer at this point, and even kind of Stay Puft, because I just want newer creatures or ghosts.
I agree 100% with you. I want more new stuff, and I guess it's something. It's a way to do it, but whatever.
I'm just getting worried about some of these old franchises. I mean, because Terminator. Oh God. I mean, they need to bury that. And I mean, even though Ghostbusters really hasn't been that much, that second movie is the worst. It's even worse than the 2016 one.
I disagree with you 100% on that. The 2016 one is just garbage.
Oh, they're both garbage. You'll never hear me defend the 2016 version. The only reason I would even give it as high as a 4 or a 5 is because Chris Hemsworth was absolutely hilarious as a male bimbo.
Yeah, but they just treat it like all men are dumb essentially because they did. But I don't know. I'd rather watch Ghostbusters 2 because it was actually funny and particularly well made, and the effects were better.
I like the Titanic scene. That's about it.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean that movie is better than 2016 version though, but that's a different discussion for a different time.
Yeah, and I agree with the classic Jake or new Jake that. They depend on too much of these characters, and it's a real Flanderization of everything where they just get one character, one trait, and oversimplify it and make it into everything about it. And it's just no, man, it's Ghostbusters is more than that. So at the very least, it get me more excited for the movie, which ultimately that's the point of this. So cool,
yeah.
But we'll see what actually happens.
I mean, I know they're going to bring back the original cast, most of the original cast, their Bill Murray and stuff. But it's just do we need them? Do we need it?
I agree.
Yeah.
All right.
At this point, no, but we're going to get them anyway.
All right, new Jake. What do you want to talk about next?
Let's keep the train going on DC and Warner Brothers. Let's talk about the Godzilla versus Kong.
So we mentioned this briefly in the spoiler cast, but we'll mention it here too, that it is a big hit. It has made
Yes.
a good amount of money.
Yeah, a domestic and abroad.
Hmm. Yeah, it's the biggest success in the post-pandemic world.
Yeah, bigger than Croods 2, bigger than Tenet, Wonder Woman 84. It's a legit smash for at least in a pandemic world.
Hmm.
So right now, I'm reading this from Verity that Godzilla vs. Kong has topped 350 worldwide. That was an hour ago they posted this. So that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, that's almost King of the Monsters level.
Yeah. Yeah, in a pandemic world. I mean, only a few movies in mainland China that have only played mainland China have done better.
Yes.
So it looks like this weekend for domestic, it'll be about 48 million. It might be 50 when they round up, but I don't know exactly. But overall, it has really good numbers, and this is the first hit after the pandemic. The first movie that people want to go to the theaters for, and it's available on HBO Max. So it's being on HBO Max has not hurt it, which has been a big thing that people are like, oh, well, no one's going to see the movie if you're going to see it on HBO Max, but a lot of people have.
Yeah. I mean, more theaters are opening up in California, New York, and vaccines rolled out. So, yeah.
Now in America, it's starting to, depending on where you are, there might be a fourth wave in America, but other parts of the world are really still suffering with COVID and, not getting that many vaccines. And we're doing relatively pretty great compared to other parts of the world with having, we're on record, almost get 200 million people get vaccinated by Biden's first 100 days, which is pretty great.
Yeah.
Me and New Jake have been vaccinated for the first, right?
Yes, I'm waiting on my second one though, but yeah.
So I'm waiting on my second one too, and we did a podcast about that. We'll let that podcast stand on its own, but
and I'm still waiting in Oregon because they still haven't opened it up.
So yeah, Godzilla vs. Kong, big hit, and I think people wanted something. I think it's a fun movie, and it's something that you don't have to think too much about. You could theoretically take your kids with it. It's violent, but it's not gory, and I don't remember being that many cuss words, if any. So
yeah, it's just violent.
But I mean, if it does have blood, it has like green or whatever, purple blood and not red blood. So
yeah.
And the story is whatever stupid stuff that is fun enough to watch.
If you'll let your kids watch professional wrestling, this is fine.
Oh yeah.
All right. So yeah, that's really interesting to see how this is developing, and Warner Brothers next year, 2022, they said that a bunch of movies are not going to get HBO Max until 2 months later or whatever. So maybe this is a good sign that if a movie's popular enough, people want to see it, they could see it. Some people are thinking that it's just a one-off because it's Godzilla vs. Kong, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll have to see what else is making money in, if there's other movies that are making a lot of money or if it's just this. All right, so let's keep going here. We got a trailer for an animated movie here called Spirit Untwined.
Thought it was Spirit Untamed.
Untamed, yeah. Sorry.
It don't matter. It looks awful. It's derivative of the Spirit Cimarron movie.
It looked basic. It looks like
cheap.
It looks like if you've got a 5-year-old girl that loves horses, you're going to have to go see this.
The acting and everything.
It just looked basic and cliched, and I feel like I've seen this movie 100 times.
Mm-hmm.
This is coming out June 4th, 2021. Apparently on here on Wikipedia it says in 3D, but the trailer didn't mention 3D, but I'm assuming as much.
Yeah, I mean, it's a CGI animated movie. I mean, it's very rare it's not 3D anymore.
Yeah, because they can get an extra $3 a ticket to $5.
So
it looks awful.
Obviously,
I think we're gonna have to draw straws on who reviews this.
Yeah, obviously any dates we mention in this podcast may change, so this may get pushed up. It may be delayed. Who knows?
Or it may go straight to Netflix.
So it's based on the Netflix animated series, Spirit. Did any of y'all watch that or no?
I watched the original movie back in the day, Spirit of the Cimarron or something like that. It was good, but like the horse didn't have any dialogue. But well, that's fine. Matt Damon did the narration for the horse, but it was a beautifully animated movie, and it was a really good movie. This one just looks like it spit in the face of that.
So, yeah, I don't have anything else to say because I haven't watched any of these things, and I basically agree with you guys. It looks like a very cliche, basic horse cartoon movie that is.
That might make your 5-year-old happy.
Yeah, if you get the chance to watch the original 2D hand drawn animation, it's beautifully done. I'd recommend it, but this looks like garbage.
Yeah.
The animation too it looks very basic. Like it doesn't look like they really put that much of a style to it. It's just honestly,
it looked like it would be straight to video movie.
Yeah,
it's like when Disney did the movie Planes and Planes 2. It just had that same level of cheapness.
Yeah, Spirit Untamed looks terrible, so maybe it'll be good. Who knows? But that's our first impressions from the first trailer.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Classic Jake, what do you want to talk about next?
Let's. Oh, I guess we can talk about the latest from. Oh no, let's keep it kind of on topic and talk about Netflix and Sony.
Yeah, so Netflix spent a lot of money. It was like $500 million or something to get all of the streaming rights for Sony content.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff. Because Sony owns Columbia Screen Gems, and they own a lot. They have a big back catalog.
Yes. But I mean, is that going to include the back catalog, or is it just future movies that they're going to be doing, like Venom 2 and Morbius? Like,
well, a lot of things as rights expire at other places, they're going to go to Netflix for the next 18 months.
Okay, so a year and a half. That's not too bad.
So a lot of people are speculating that could this mean that Netflix is dipping their toe in the possibility of buying Sony's theatrical stuff and their theatrical content, and Sony then turns around and just spends their time on PlayStation and developing the PlayStation Store and all that.
I don't want to see a Netflix owned Sony. That just seems wrong.
I agree.
Well, the thing is, it wouldn't be Sony. It would probably be Columbia.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
it'll be the movie side. It won't be the game side. I don't think Netflix wants to touch games.
I don't think Netflix has any interest in games, and I think Sony is seeing they do better with games. You have to admit, I mean, Sony's only had $2 billion movies, and both of them have been with IP they don't really have control over. Like, see, Spider-Man is one, and all the merch is in the hands of Disney, so they can't make any auxiliary or adjacent money. And the other one was Skyfall, and MGM turned around and pulled the rights out from underneath them, even though they had one of the most successful Bond movies of all time. I really thought that they should have left it with Sony, because obviously they knew what they were doing.
Yeah. I mean, now it's Universal, and
Yeah, and I don't think Netflix has any interest in doing any hardware. Where, like, I don't think Netflix wants to make a TV or a Blu-ray player or, whatever.
Yeah, they just want to focus on streaming, and that's it. That's their bread and butter.
Yeah, and it looks like they decided to not get in the streaming wars, and start their own, like, Sony Plus.
I mean, they did have the PlayStation Movie Store, which got shut down recently, but that was the extent.
They still have Crackle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
at least that's free.
And they have Crunchyroll, and I don't think either one of these are long for this world.
I don't know, because Funimation's like pretty much being dominant at the moment.
And Netflix is really getting into anime and animated content.
Yeah, Castlevania, all
Mhm.
that stuff.
I could see them being interested in Sony's catalog for that and future content.
Yeah, can we get a Luke Who's Talking 4? Who knows?
On Netflix, we probably will, because Boss Baby got his series. I know.
I mean, it makes sense for Sony because they made $500 million off of this. So,
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's part of the business side of here where if they put it on Crackle, well, good for them, but it's not really going to make them money, $500 million,
Yeah, like with Crackle, that's Joe Dirt 2 territory, not like, hey, we're going to show Uncharted on Crackle. No.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I did see like a commercial for a Crackle original series, but it didn't look good. And, I very rarely go to Crackle. Yeah, it's free with ads, but I very rarely go to Crackle for any streaming. The problem I always had with Crackle was that they had commercials, but it was always the same commercials over and over again. And it's like, oh my God.
Yes. And always tied to the show that they made. Like, yeah, we have this, and we see another commercial for the same thing we've seen in the show.
Oh, and like sometimes they would not time the commercial breaks correctly, so like it would just cut things. I was like, no, you're being bad. Stop it. You actually have commercial breaks in these TV shows. Use them and don't just cut it a couple of seconds before and a couple. It just It's
obviously a person didn't do it. It's an algorithm.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see where that's going to go. I think ultimately that may lead to having problems with like Blu-rays and stuff and DVDs and discs and physical media. That's a whole nother conversation. But I do wonder, if they're going to spend $500 million on this, why would they want to have discs too? That's...
Well, I mean, there's still going to be people worldwide without internet. And this probably only pertains to United States rights, maybe, or is it a worldwide rights to Sony content?
As far as I know, it's worldwide.
Okay. But I mean, luckily it's only for just stuff that is being released months after the theatrical release at the moment. So that's the positive side of that.
So it's more Sony movies, just in case you don't know. Obviously the Spider-Man movies right now, but Venom and Jumanji movies as well.
Yeah. Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Uncharted.
Mm-hmm.
So there's quite a few that are coming that, the Peter Rabbit movies.
When it finally releases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Bloodshot movie that came out last year. Hotel Transylvania movies. Ugh.
Yeah, that'd be a big one because that's a new one coming out in October.
Yeah.
They they own the rights to the Emoji Movie. That's where you're gonna be able to stream that thing.
Oh, that's been on Netflix for a while. I think that's where I first seen it. So nothing new there.
Yeah.
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs movies, the Smurfs movies.
Those are good. Yeah.
There's a lot here. A lot. Goosebumps, Stuart Little, Angry Birds, Monster House. There's a lot of movies that are from Sony. And obviously Netflix does not do 3D streaming, so yeah, that's sad.
And they also bought Mitchell's versus the Machine, so yeah.
Netflix is spending money.
Yeah. I mean, they got the money.
Yeah, where are they getting this money? I mean,
subscribers, deals, I don't know. A lot of debt, most likely.
That's what I'm thinking. They've got a lot of debt.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, as long as we get good content, I don't really care. I just get concerned when the content ends.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the debt, they definitely have a lot of debt, but they're making their money and raising prices and stuff. So it's interesting.
Just too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how much this Sony deal is going to cost the subscribers. How many more?
Netflix is going to be $20 a month.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're going to be like HBO Max now.
But HBO Max is worth it so far. So
yeah,
I wish they would port. Like I'm going to I only subscribe like a month and then quit. Then a couple of months later, because it's just too steep. I mean, I
They're
might
coming out with
think if
Oh,
they
go
would
ahead.
add the comic books from DC Universe, I might,
Yeah.
but they haven't.
I mean, they're supposed to be doing an ad-supported version in June, so it's supposed to be cheaper.
Yeah, if I wanted to add, I would go to Crackle if I wanted ads. Or Peacock, they're free with ads. Just
Yeah.
Now there is
Yeah.
there is a tier of Netflix that is more expensive than HBO Max, which includes the 4K, which is the one thing that everyone, Disney does it, HBO Max already has 4K, and they don't charge any extra for it, and Netflix does.
No.
So,
And the Netflix 4K streams are usually lacking. The Hulu and Disney Plus and HBO Max 4K is pretty phenomenal for streaming.
from what I've heard too, I don't have a 4K TV, but Apple has really top, if you download stuff or get stuff from iTunes or watch their TV stuff in 4K, it's beautiful. Like they have the highest bit rate and stuff, but yeah, if you want 4K stuff, it's gonna cost you a premium for Netflix right now. So,
Yes. And it looks not good.
yeah,
that might be where they're getting the money for their content.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going here. We got a nice story. People always say, why you cover bad news? Give us a good, feel-good story. And, here's a feel-good story that everyone could like. So, this one kid got a 3D printed Iron Man arm.
Oh, that's cool.
Neat.
Yeah.
I heard this.
Yeah.
So...
we hear about turtles getting Lego wheels.
I saw this on The Verge. I'm going to give them credit. It's a 7-year-old. He got a 3D printed prosthetic, and it's from Robert Downey Jr. And it looks like Iron Man kind of thing.
Oh, that's cool. Does it come with the Jarvis?
No. So it has the Iron Man red, and the look of it, and yeah, it definitely works. It actually is a thing that works. So, hey, a nice feel-good story that some people could really help out, and it's
yeah. I'm glad Robert Downey Jr. turned his life around because he was always a good actor, but he seems like an awesome dude and still a great actor after all his troubles.
Yeah, exactly.
That's one of those things that's interesting that people kind of forget. That he was in bad shape in the early 2000s. Like, he was, like, on drugs and going to jail all the time, and he was able to get his life together and fix things, and, he's an inspiration that you can get out of that,
Oh, yeah, like, and Mel Gibson helped him, which is amazing.
Uh-huh. I mean, he was one of those guys you figured he was going to not outlive Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, that was like a famous, like, who's going to die first or who's going to get AIDS first? Robert Downey Jr. or Charlie Sheen? Like, who's it going to be? It ended up being Charlie Sheen, but,
Yeah.
Yeah, because you were thinking, I don't know about AIDS, but I was thinking who's going to get overdose first and die,
Oh, yeah.
Because they were in bad shape. Like, it was like, he thought his career was over, and then he got Iron Man, and then he turned everything around, and everyone loves him, and like seriously, he was about to be ruined and be gone from Hollywood forever. And he,
because he was in the Shaggy Dog before he got Iron Man. I'm like, oh god, he's relegated to being in crappy kids movies, and it's like, oh, Iron Man, Tropic Thunder, yes.
I have a lot of love for Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
I mean, he was in such bad shape. The only way he could get work is if the production self-insured.
Yes. And they did that with The Singing Detective, which Mel Gibson paid for, which was really nice.
Uh-huh. Yep.
So yeah, it's the kid didn't have to pay for it. Kid's name is Alex, and he was born with a partially developed right arm. So this kid,
I mean, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's using that Doolittle money to good use.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going here. We got news on another 3D film from the 3D Film Archive. a new 3D Blu-ray, Revenge of the Shogun. Classic. Jake, what do you know about this movie?
Oh, it's one of those martial arts 3D movies. There were a bunch of them. They have real not real 3D as the company, but they're actually shot in real because it's old school. Lots of pop outs, violence.
Shot in stereoscopic 3D.
Yep.
Yeah, two film cameras side by side.
And it'll be nice to see it cleaned up and realigned, and it should look marvelous.
Yeah, they usually do some pretty good stuff, but I haven't seen none of their stuff personally. But they always get high remarks on various review websites, so I need to start getting their stuff.
Yeah, their stuff's great. Even if you're not
Because
interested in the movie, the 3D is going to be excellent.
they did was it Wings of the Hawk and was there one called Comanchero or something like that? Some Western.
Yeah, something common like and I'm just hoping they can secure the rights to magnificent bodyguards.
Well, 3D Film Archive.
It's a Jackie Chan martial arts movie shot in 3D.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 3D Film Archive website, they're good guys, good people, and they do a lot of great film restoration and putting it out on Blu-ray, and the movies look great, and nothing but props for them.
They usually have like good extras. Like one of them had a Woody Woodpecker extra, which seemed really interesting to see in 3D, which I really need to get.
Yeah, and Dynasty's another 3D.
Dynasty,
yeah, it's one of those martial arts.
So yeah, they had it's an Indiegogo, I think it is, and then they got plenty of money to make it. So
yeah. Now, if they could start doing more modern stuff, like I don't know, Bumblebee or Mission Impossible 6 in 3D, that would be amazing. But
wow,
I'm happy they're doing older movies.
They do newer stuff too, because they work on a lot of stuff that gets released by other people.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
so. They just do their own releases.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with licensing and all that kind of contracts and
if they can raise the money, because there's a lot of movies they're dying to do, but
Hondo would be great for them. That would be a great goal.
Oh, of course they're trying to get Hondo, but John Wayne Estate is really and it's gotten even weirder now that I think Michael's passed on, so it's even more convoluted and
so yeah.
But the elements still exist. It's not like a situation like with Top a Banana. All that exists in 3D is the trailer.
Never even heard of that movie.
It's a Phil Silvers burlesque kind of comedy thing that if I won the lottery, I would pay for them to use the 2D elements to get the depth and convert it.
There you go.
Yeah, but I would have to win the lottery, so some tickets, and maybe we should start our own. Second thought: let's not start a PayPal kind of thing on Kickstarter to pay for it, because I don't even know what. I think Warner Brothers has the rights. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and it'll get into legal hell. So let's just keep going.
I
mean, that would be great for Warner Archive to release. Because
and I also don't think enough people are Phil Silvers fans. I don't think there's enough of us alive.
Yeah. So anyway, 3D Film Archive, great people, and a lot of their stuff is definitely worth buying, and they do a lot of great restoration. These movies could be lost forever. They managed to bring them back and to make them look wonderful.
And in 3D.
Look better than they did theatrically, because they correct the baked-in errors from the filming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we got a lot of Paramount news. That's going to wrap up this podcast. So we got a lot of date changes and a lot of movies that we knew about. So let's go one by one. Snake Eyes, which is the third. G.I. Joe movie now has coming sooner, coming in July 23rd.
Yes.
What are you
Kind of thankful for that.
What are your thoughts on G.I. Joe Snake Eyes?
It's probably going to be really good 3D.
Yeah. I like the director. Yeah. And I like the star for Snake Eyes. He's a pretty decent actor. So no trailer yet, though. It's coming in 3 months. They better get on the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you seen the other G.I. Joe movies? I have not.
Yes.
I've seen one, and the 3D was excellent.
Retaliation, yes. The mountaintop scene alone was great. Snake Eyes fighting all those guys on the cliff. Oh, well, they're hanging from the wires on the cliff. Awesome.
Okay. Next up is Jackass 4.
Yes. 4.5.
Have one other Jackass movie being in 3D, but it was released anaglyph with the red and blue glasses. So when are they going to correct?
Never.
Because wasn't Jackass 3 3D supposed to actually have fantastically shot 3D?
Yes, because it was natively shot, and they put a whole lot of time and effort into the 3D, and hey, on home video, anaglyphs, and they did that on purpose for some odd reason.
That's because I think Johnny Knoxville hates us.
I mean, at least it was in the pink and green glasses, which was easier on the eyes than the red and blue. But come on, I got 3D TV. Let's go.
Exactly.
Now it's been forever since the Jackass movie came out.
Yeah, like the last Jackass related thing that's not Action Point would be Bad Grandpa back in 2013. So it's been like 8 years.
Yeah.
Because
it's hard to compete with reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jackass 3 came out in 2010, and then Jackass 3.5 came out in 2011.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is a 3D movie or not. I mean, hopefully,
I mean, it's probably not. I mean, these movies are done on the cheap, and they make huge profit either way.
But it's been forever since they've done these, and like Johnny Knoxville and stuff is just like they're getting old.
They're getting into their 50s.
Yeah.
This will probably be their last Jackass movie, probably.
I mean, I watched the first one and I was like, all right, I'm done. I don't need more of this.
Oh no, they're pretty good. They get better. I mean, there's no storyline really, but they get better, the stunts, and yeah, it's worth watching all of them at least.
Now, okay, I think since it's been such a long time, I think we need to introduce what Jackass is as a movie franchise, because there might be people that don't remember this.
20 years ago, there was a TV series on MTV called Jackass, and it was stupid men doing stupid stunts, but it was hilarious.
So yeah, it was a skit.
And if it wasn't for this movie, YouTube probably wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
So yeah, they really have like a real, they're the original YouTube, Vine, and or TikTok kind of people where they would do incredibly stupid things for likes.
Justifying stunts.
Yeah. For laughs, for giggles.
Like farting into an open flame, that kind of skateboarding, parkour type of stuff.
Like they risk their lives for our entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they really risk their own lives. It's not like bum fights where they pay homeless people to punch each other.
Yeah. It's like they've broken bones, they've gotten concussions, scars, they've branded themselves, they've done almost everything in this film.
Yeah, one of them managed to kill himself off stunt. Yeah, I guess he wishes it was a stunt now, but...
Yeah, another one kind of killed his career being a diva on set, but, he was also really deep into drugs. Sorry, man.
So, yeah, these are, R-rated movies that are a bunch of skits put together. They don't even have a story. They're just skits, one after another of them doing dumb, sometimes hilarious, sometimes gross stuff.
But it's endearing.
You gotta have a story. You can watch Action Park, which is
Bad Grandpa has a story, and it's better than Action Park.
Yeah. Well, Action Park is just such weak sauce compared to the real story that it's based on.
Mm-hmm.
So you have Johnny Knoxville, Bam, Magura, Steve-O, Jason Weeman, and it has all these different guys that are... I think there might have been some girls here and there, but for the most part, it's those guys doing those stunts to entertain you. And a lot of the times they're just stupid, gross out, you know. It's
they would have guest stars, usually like Tony Hawk or whatever.
You know, it's the kind of stuff that I would say is very juvenile, very, you know, high school. Oh, these are the high school guys that are bored. Let's do something stupid and let's, skateboard naked. Oh, yeah, that'll be cool. It's that kind of stuff. Which,
but like I grew up with these guys, and I still love them 20 years later.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not hating her. I just want to paint that picture for anyone that forgot or don't know what Jackass is.
Right.
So this might be a 3D movie. I hope so, because
I doubt it. It's just going to be put it out there. No 3D.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to come out October 22nd. Like I said before, dates will change. It may be pushed up, maybe pushed back. Who knows? But right now, as you're recording this, the date is October 22nd, 2021. So we'll see what happens. I mean, every time that, you know, the show lasted a couple seasons, so I don't know how they could like top everything. Because that was the part of the thing, was that every time they need to top what they did last time, and I mean, how do they top that now? I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, next movie, Top Gun Maverick has been delayed to November 19th, 2021.
2 years past the point.
Yeah.
I guess this could be a big hit eventually, maybe. I don't know.
It's going to be 35 years after the original came out.
Yeah, I'm like going, and this guy is still in the military. He's not retired.
And he's not I mean, they kind of made a point of that in the trailer, which is like, you know, you could have been a general by now. How come you're not?
Yeah, exactly.
And they don't even really have a premise. Like they say, like, you're the only pilot who shot down planes in like 20 years. It's like, okay, are you going to focus on drones? Like, what's happening? They're not explaining anything.
Yeah.
Now the cinematography should look beautiful, and I hope this gets a 3D release here, but I don't know.
I mean, like, they had so many IMAX cameras in the cockpit side by side that it could be in 3D, because the Top Gun 3D conversion for the first movie was well done, surprisingly. And this could be a stunner, but it probably won't be 3D here.
But we might get a 3D home release in Germany, Australia.
Even Germany's getting unreliable, because, like, it's kind of hoping we get some with like Rhea and Soul, but nothing. It's disappointing.
Yeah, it's been real disappointing.
So, I think it looks like it could be fun, but it's a franchise that hasn't had anything for 30 years, and I don't think many people remember Top Gun that are now listening to this podcast. I don't know if many people really watched it.
It's not a good movie.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it because it's fun.
It's like there's no story.
It's simple. It's a macho kind of story. I like it, but I mean,
very homoerotic.
I think most people who remember Top Gun at all they changed Captain Marvel's cat's name. Well, excuse me, Flurkin's name from Chewie, which
to Goose.
He's a character in Top Guns, but I'm like going, why would Disney change the name of a character from one they own to one they have to license rights to?
Don't know. Nostalgia, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing that it's like, oh, we're going to stress her fighter pilot cred. So why didn't you mention it more in the movie then?
But Top Gun is just not a good movie. I mean, I know there's people who like it, but it's
a Tom Cruise movie. They're banking on Tom Cruise.
I mean, this one actually looks like it has a story. It has the guy who directed Tron Legacy. So, I mean, you kind of have a decent director, and he also directed Tom Cruise and Oblivion from like 10 years ago. So it has potential to be a good movie, but I have to wait and see. You know, I've been waiting over 2 years.
Yeah.
All right, next movie is Mission Impossible 7, which we don't have a subtitle for. Now is coming out May 27.
Yeah.
Disappointed.
Anybody who knows how I feel about this franchise, because I'm a big fan of the original series, and I walked out of the first movie and haven't seen the others because I didn't want to become like a bitter Star Wars fan, and I knew if I watched these, it would turn me into one of those bitter Star Wars type fans. So I just don't indulge.
I get the Jim Phelps hate, I guess, but I don't know. The movies have gotten better, especially the last one was excellent. So it has a lot to live up to.
I mean, if I could, some of my friends have said, look, they've completely divorced it from, and if I could divorce it from the original series, yeah, I can imagine someday when I'm really old and decrepit, kicking back and watching these. But
I mean, at least for the stunt work. I mean, Tom Cruise puts himself out there, and he's almost killed himself. He's just. I mean, he's going to be diving from space, or at least being in space for either Mission Impossible 7 or 8. So, I mean, he knows how to entertain an audience, at least with stunt work.
Okay, so I'm wondering how long before we have Mission Impossible meets Fast and the Furious.
I mean, I hope never.
But I just, they're going to eventually start teaming up these franchises.
It'll probably be Hobbs and Shaw most likely, because that's a spy movie.
Yeah, and I don't know, Tom Cruise and The Rock, that could be interesting. You'd have to dig a ditch. You'd have to dig a ditch to put The Rock in.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you have to give Tom Cruise even more heel lifts.
Yeah. Oh, you have to put him on a crate. What are you talking about, heel lifts?
Yeah.
All right, so make sure the date out there again, May 27th, 22. So that is still a year away. Now, I definitely like these movies, and the last movie was the last 3D movie, which, I had a weird experience with the first time I saw it. The second time I saw it, the 3D was better. And
yes,
I
excellent 3D.
Besides the second one, I think these movies are really great, and they're fun, and I guess I don't understand your hate, Classic Jake. I think you should just watch the third one on, and I think you will dig them. They're fun. Just have to divorce it from whatever TV show from.
I think you might like the second one because it's directed by John Woo, and it's very kung fu-y. So I think he'll like that one. So start with 2, and then work your way up to the rest.
2 is bad. I don't like 2 at all.
I mean, yeah, it's not great, but it's fun in that 2000. Metallica scene, just like, yeah. I hate the theme music though, done with the rock and roll. It's like da-na-na-na. It's just like, eh.
So
2000.
Yeah, I like all these movies besides 2. So I definitely recommend them, and I'm excited for this.
Yes, Christopher McQuarrie does a great job.
They make them fun. They make them, the stunt work by Tom Cruise. Gotta give him respect because he knows he really does these stunts in real life, and they look incredible.
Yes.
So
and he risked his life, and also with this one, he did that little what they call a hissy fit, but it was a legit complaint about you're going to get us shut down, and I'm a producer, so don't shut us down because you're going to cost everybody their jobs. So
yeah. If you're bored, Classic Jake, I really think you should give him a try. And
yes,
because I think they're fun. I like them more than the James Bond movies over the last years. A lot more.
Yeah, Spectre was
Yeah, I think the Mission Impossible movies are definitely better than the James Bond movies. So, all right. Next up, Dungeons and Dragons movie is now going to be March 3rd, 2023.
They're making another one of these
with Jeremy Irons, I hope.
if he's in it. I may go see it.
I mean, I know Chris Pine is supposed to be, and I don't know who else at this point, or who's even directing it.
So there's several of these movies that none of them have done well, right?
Yeah, I think there's been 3, and they've all flopped. Like 2 of them have been like on direct-to-video.
There's been Dungeons & Dragons, which came out in 2000, then Wrath of the Dragon God 2005, and The Book of the Vile Darkness in 2012.
There's one in 2008, so I think there's been like 4 movies.
Well, I'm hearing in Wikipedia, that's what they tell me, so I don't know. But yeah, I have not seen any of these. I mean, this has potential, but I think it probably would work better as a TV show. Game of Thrones kind of stuff, but I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of lore, a lot of fun stuff that could be had if they have a good writer and a good, team behind it. But I know nothing about this franchise besides of it. I never played any of the games, or I never role played. I have no negative connotations toward it, but I have not experienced it, so.
Yeah. Oh, Hugh Grant's going to be in the movie, so I'm there, I guess.
Have any of y'all played Dungeons and Dragons?
No. I got friends who do, though, and they say it's fun.
I would usually be with friends playing it, and I would usually be in the corner drinking while they played. Then I would go to sleep, wake up, and they're still playing.
So keep going here. Mission Impossible 8. It's July 7th, 2023. 1 year apart from the other one. So that's amazing that they're going to be able to do them basically year after year.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think that's going to stick.
It's going to depend on the money.
Yeah.
Like if Mission Impossible 7 actually manages to make $1 billion, I think they'll go for it.
It's getting closer to making $1 billion.
Yeah, Fallout, which is the last one, 2019, made $790 million.
Yeah.
So that's pretty damn good on a budget of 178. So it makes money. It definitely makes a lot of money.
No, but if it really made a lot of money, I think they would keep it because they would want the money since everything is doing so much less business.
Right, but they probably wouldn't start shooting until next year at the very earliest because COVID still being a thing, and probably have to fix the screenplay and do the marketing with Mission Impossible 7. So who knows?
It's probably going to get delayed to 2024.
Yeah, or 2025 when Tom Cruise is in his 60s.
Yeah, so they'll be wheeling him out with his oxygen and
I don't know, but he's looking good at 58, 59, whatever age he is now.
Yeah, he looks good, and he 58 right now, and he does all the stunts, and I respect the hell out of him. I know I don't agree with Scientology, but I respect the hell out of him as an actor. I think he puts 100% in, and he does everything to make his movies fun, as enjoyable as he can. So I respect the hell out of his career.
And camera stunts make it happen. Like, I mean, they just you could tell they're on screen. It's like actual in camera.
And the few movies that are bad that he's in, I think he's the best part of them.
Like The Mummy?
Yeah.
Would you consider him the best part in The Mummy?
I guess, but that movie sucked so bad.
So boring. Ugh.
Yeah. So last movie here, and the last thing we're talking about is new Star Trek movie 2023 by J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams. Don't know. Did they like the prequel trilogy or the sequel trilogy to Star Wars and like we got to get them back for Star Wars or Star Trek?
I'm like, I thought he had moved on. I thought he was at Warner Brothers now.
I mean, maybe he's just producing it. I don't know. Maybe it's just going to be a bad robot thing and executive produced instead of hands on. But who knows? What is Paramount thinking?
Yeah, and is it going to be the same cast, or are they going to upgrade next generation cast? I mean,
it's probably going to be the Discovery cast or a new cast entirely.
Yeah, so that's where the big question is, because there is a Star Trek 4 forever, and it was supposed to be about the dad of Chris Pine, of Kirk, and it just never went anywhere. And I never cared about that storyline because I don't care about the parents and the family of the captains. I care about crazy ideas like new civilizations and to boldly go where no one has gone before. That's what I care about with Star Trek.
Well, to me, it was a bad sign when they wouldn't pay Chris Pine.
Right.
And Chris Hemsworth, they wouldn't pay him to be in this.
Well, I mean, the last movie kind of bombed. Oh, well, not bombed. It underperformed, but
Well, that was because Paramount pissed off the hardcore fans who drive multiple viewing business, and then they had a mediocre ad campaign.
yeah, and they also had the director of many Fast and Furious movies, but.
And then when a lot of people were feeling burned by the previous Trek. I mean, I liked it well enough. It was fine. It wasn't the greatest. They didn't keep the secret very secret.
Into Darkness.
It's not Khan. It is Khan.
Yeah.
I
I
love Beyond. I think Beyond is fantastic. I really love it.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that one yet, but
it's worth it. It's got good 3D, and it's a fun, breezy Star Trek. It's what I would call a classic Star Trek movie.
I mean, I was kind of wondering, because I know Simon Pegg wrote it, but I was kind of wondering, because there's been several Star Treks in development, like one by Noah Hawley, who did the Fargo TV series. There's supposed to be one by Tarantino, of all people.
Did they mention any of those during First Contact?
No.
Which is Paramount trying to make their own holiday?
No.
So I figure we're going to get an announcement they're canceled soon enough.
Probably.
I think the Tarantino one was like, Tarantino mentioned it and he talked about it, but like they never actually got beyond like a script phase. And then the actors that did read it, they said the script was insane. And like they're trying to go back in time to World War II or World War II or the 1920s or something. But yeah, they said, I remember reading somewhere that the script was bonkers, which, I mean, Tarantino is known for that. So,
yeah.
All right. So, okay. Would you guys want a brand new Star Trek with a brand new captain and new story, or do you want the continuation of the Kelvinverse?
I like a continuation of the Kelvinverse because I like Chris Pine. But I don't want J.J. Abrams involved in almost any capacity, like especially as a director, if he's writing his own script. But I'd be down if he's just producing it. So yeah, I'd be down.
All right, new Jake or classic Jake?
I'd go either way. I mean, but instead of TV, if they're going to go with a different cast, they should have a new ship and a new crew.
And no lines like "science is awesome." None of that.
All right, so I really like a lot the Kelvinverse actors. I love Zachary Quinto as Spock. I think he's fantastic. I love Simon Pegg as Scotty. I love Carl Urban.
Carl Urban as Bones.
Yeah, I love them. I think they're great. I would love a fourth one, but I want new. And I don't want a Discovery movie. I don't want a Lower Decks movie. I want a new thing. I want a new crew. That's going to be something that's revolutionary for Star Trek because all the movies are based on previous entities. They're based on Next Generation or the classic. No one has ever had a new, like, they introduced the characters in that movie. So I would definitely want that. Have a new movie, have new aliens, it doesn't have to be connected to the other verses. I mean, if they want to, sure, but they don't have to. I mean, they could have an in-canon movie that has a new set, a new characters, and new aliens, and just have fun with it.
Yeah.
People were saying, do you want a Star Trek Next Generation reboot?
No.
Not yet. Maybe in like 10, 20 more years, maybe, because they still have Picard going, and I don't want the reboot to happen yet, but I think that is inevitable. Do I want it? I don't know.
But I mean, everybody's aging, and just get new stuff that's not Discovery or Picard or Lower Decks.
I enjoy Discovery a lot. I like Picard to a degree, and Lower Decks is a lot of fun. So have something new. I think that would be the best way of doing everything. Classic Jake, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, because and also you may want to. They also might want to think about maybe they want to pay some people to actually create them some new IP and give them a cut of it. Because I mean, I think kids want their own thing. They don't want to watch Grandpa's TV shows turned into movies.
I mean, that being said, I would absolutely love a Star Trek Deep Space Nine movie. That Voyager movie, or a a movie on Enterprise. I think they have a lot of stuff there that'd be fun.
Yeah.
But Voyager is interesting because they're doing their, the two actors are doing a podcast about Voyager, and they're having a Voyager retrospective soon. Deep Space Nine had their retrospective documentary a couple years ago. But Deep Space Nine, that story definitely has room, but it'll be really hard for people that have not watched Deep Space Nine to get into a movie, because it's off.
It'd be better off reviving them as TV shows, because then you could really spend the time to develop the characters.
And of course, Enterprise, I really grew to like Enterprise, and I felt like they really got better as they were going on the air, and having I think that would be a really fun, interesting thing. But there's so much there that you could do. I just say, just be new. Just don't depend on anything else. You could still have the whole Starfleet and everything. You know what I'd absolutely love, which I think it would be really bonkers? A World War III movie. Which, because people don't understand, there was World War III is in Star Trek. It's never talked about, never shown, and it's something that is that's happened. And after World War III, people rebuilt, and then they made to First Contact eventually, as they made the warp drive. And so having a World War III movie, Star Trek, could be a way to have a really interesting new story that none of the TV shows have done that much about. They kind of referenced it offhand here and there. So I'm definitely game for that. But I don't want recycled ideas. I mean, that's the problem with Into Darkness. They recycled the idea of 2, and Khan is like, just give me something new.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, we'll be wrapping up this podcast. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Before this podcast wraps up, I want to thank my patrons. Thank you, Kano3D, Mr. Bengal 5, and Kevin Winter for your financial support on Patreon.com. So that's going to be it for this podcast. Thanks for listening. You can find 3D or 2D on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, Instagram, and more. Just look for 3D or 2D. Links are in the info box. If you want to send us listener mail, our email address is email3dortwo@gmail.com. Thank you for either listening or watching this podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.